So we just need this piece right here. Pay attention to the fact that since we're in the third quadrant, this leg is negative, and then this leg is also going to be negative. All right, so plug everything in. It's the x value that we need to find, plus, and then if I square the negative 12, I get 144. And if I square the hypotenuse, 13, I get 169. So I'm just going to solve for that last piece. So subtract 144 from both sides, and that leaves me with 25. And then square root. So remember, when you square root, you technically get plus or minus 5. Could be either one, depending on whether you're going left or right. And since we're going to the left, we're going to label it as negative 5. All right, so like I said, we need cosine for our formula. So let's figure out what that is. So cosine, we've got from the angle, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, just like that. So now this value right here can get plugged into our formula. So that's what we're going to do. So cosine of theta over 2 equals plus or minus. We'll figure out the plus or minus in just a second. Big square root 1 plus, and the cosine value, we just figured out the cosine was negative 5 over 13, and then over 2. So I just took this value right here and replaced cosine in the formula. So two things left to do. I need to figure out the plus or minus, and I need to get rid of this horrible fraction within a fraction thing that I've got going on. So whole numerator, whole denominator. Since I have a little denominator of 13, what I'm going to do is multiply top and bottom by 13 to get that to clean up a little bit. So big square root again. Multiply both of these by 13. So I will get 13 times 1, which is 13, minus, and then 13 times 5 over 13. These 13s would cancel, and I just have a 5 left over. And then 2 times 13 is 26. Okay, almost done. So let's talk about the plus or minus. So back up to my angle. If my original angle is somewhere between 180 and 270, I can figure out what my half angle would be. So just cut these both in half. So half of 180 is 90. Half of 270 is 135. So if my angle is somewhere in this range, this is in the second quadrant. Okay, so if my angle is in the second quadrant, cosine actually comes back negative when I'm in the second quadrant. So I definitely want my answer to be negative. 13 minus 5 is 8 over 26. I'm just going to keep reducing this. So negative, they're both even, so you can reduce them down. 4 over 13. And split them up. Square root of 4 is 2. I don't know the square root of 13, but I know that I can rationalize. Okay, so there you go. So that's your half angle, double angle stuff. The only thing that's left is our equations from 13.5. So I've got two examples of those. Okay, we're going to do one GCF, one normal factoring, and one will be in radians and one will be in degrees. So we get kind of a little variety of everything.